Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, oh my goodness, look at that high quality introduction for Meilin Fisher. About goddamn time. The stream itself was at 720p, so that was kind of bugging me, but looks beautiful. So there we go, the talk around town, Meilin Fisher being a water typing. I've seen from the community and just comments alone about how people are kind of 50-50. I've actually seen a good amount of people saying that they're going to be skipping. Fair play. I understand, you know, again, the Grand Festival is like a month, 2 months away. And, you know, with the upcoming attributes, I feel like that's going to be preferably more needed to support aka wind and whatnot. So, you know, that makes sense. But I do have an initial kit. I did go over the live stream, just kind of write everything down so that way I've got it in a better structure so I can deliver that to you guys. So we can actually really consider on whether or not if Meilin Fisher is worth the summon. Now, unfortunately, I don't know her weapon information. I don't know her passive. For whatever reason, the devs didn't go full on showcasing that. But we have her initial kit. And I think that alone gives me a good idea on whether or not if you should be summoning, because again, I feel like for the free-to-play players, a lot of you guys have already I've seen the comments and whatnot, a lot of you guys have already stated that you are going to be skipping, which I get it, I completely understand. You know, another healer, a lot of people are like, I've got Min, I've got Bora, you know, I don't really need this. I get it. And plus Alicia, she's kind of holding it down and she was the perfect unit to drop for the water attribute, to elevate that attribute. So it kind of makes sense, and I understand why some people are kind of like, oh, another water attribute, really? But hear me out. They low-key cooking with this character. They really are. So let me break it down for you guys on what we are working with. So, Hunter Reduction. Meilin Fisher restores all allies HP and allies HP, not all allies HP, and assists in battle. Her basic skill 1 restores all team members HP, and her ultimate skill grants all team members the pumped up effect, which increases their crit rate, core attack, and decreases their damage taken for a certain period of time. Now, this is the only support hunter to provide this amount of buff within her ultimate. Her ultimate, I'm just going to say this right now, is the big seller. To have this, to have 2 buffs to the, or technically 3 buffs from the ultimate, which apparently can be stacked through the passives. In some way, the passives will affect the buffs, so that could be something insane. But yeah, she's the first support unit to provide a lot on the ultimate itself, so that's one thing you should really take into consideration, of course, about maybe deciding to pull on her. So I've got everything written down. So yeah, so when using the core attack, it'll fill up the core gauge as per usual. Skill 1 causes the user to strike downward at the enemy with their whip, and when it hits, all allies recover HP. So her basic skill 1 provides the healing, and her basic skill 2, both skills do damage, FYI, but her basic skill 2 provides the core attack enhancement for all team members. So healing, basic skill 1, core damage increase, basic skill 2 for all your team members. So those are the basic skills. Then the ultimate, once again, does damage, but provides the pumped up effect for all your team members, and this additionally gives you your crit rate increase, your core attack damage increase, and your decreased damage taken buff. Alright, and that's pretty much the whole lot for the ultimate. Again, the ultimate is the big seller. So to put it like this, skill 1 QTE skill will apply the Cuddle Puddle effect, increase water damage taken, and skill 2 damage taken. Now I'm curious on how that's going to work. So if I head over to the live stream, so this is the Cuddle Puddle effect. So when you apply your skill 1 or the QTE skill, that effect will be applied onto the enemy, and then from that it'll allow you to do increased water damage. So Alicia, Jiwoo, Nam, Anna, Juhi, of course, you know, water units in general are just gonna, and I'm not too sure if this effect is also applied on the support skill for Jinwoo to effectively get increased damage for water. They didn't tell us anything about the support skill, so I don't know. But Cuddle Puddle effect makes it so that water damage, the enemy will take more. I don't know to what percentage, but that's that. But then it also states that skill 2 damage taken increases, which is the big paw attack. So I'm not too sure how this passive works in terms of other units maybe benefiting from this debuff, unless this is just for Meilin, which is a bit of a weird one because she's a healer, a support. She's not really there for DPS or chip damage at most. So I'm not too sure on how this is working. Increase skill 2 damage taken. But essentially, skill 1 to QTE applies the cuddle puddle effect on the enemy. Alright. Skill 1, rear last, also applies the healing. So while you're applying this debuff, you're also healing your teammates. I would have thought they would have provided more heal option on her skills through like ultimates and whatnot. Maybe there is a healing option through her passives, who knows, maybe. Obviously in her support skill, more than likely she will be healing and providing the pumped up buff for Jinwoo. Oh, that might be a thing actually, maybe. Skill 2, you will apply a So Cute buff, which enhances the core attack for all team members, and then the ultimate, you'll apply the pumped up buff, which gives you your crit rate, core attack, and damage, decreased damage taken for all team. Alright, and that is the full kit so far, what we know of when it comes to Meilin Fisher. So instantly looking at the kit, I know a lot of people are going to be like, you know what, I've got Min, I'm fine with it. And to be fair, again, with the buff that they've given him recently, especially with how much of a generator he is to get the power gauge filled up, obviously it does make him one of the best healers and slash support characters in the game now, because of how the power gauge is practically being filled up, so that consistency of your team members coming in to hit hard one after another, it puts him in that top spot, of course. And so through that, I mean, also catering to duping him out in the long run, just by getting that first initial dupe, it helps out in the whole crit department, and eventually somewhere down the line, if you manage to completely max him out, then the ultimate skill on your highest attacking team member, yeah, they just get an increase of 50% power, which is ridiculous, of course. On top of that, you know, you've got Libora, of course, you can build out in that support play, make her into like an attacking generator support, of course. So it really does put Meilin Fisher in that spot of, yeah, she is still a skippable character, but is she worth the skip? In my eyes, because of the amount that she provides. Again, she's the first support to actually really cater to that ultimate, to provide 3 buffs, and again, for a support unit just to compact a lot of buffs into one specific area, it does provide some value to this character. Again, you got a little bit of healing going on, so can't go wrong there, of course. But I think the big takeaway is, I feel like some people might be kind of 50-50 on the whole core attack, but it's already stated that she's coming in to really support Alicia. That's the big thing. But outside of that, she is usable in other means, especially with our ultimate, so that's fantastic, of course. But the water typing right now are looking pretty nice with this unit, I will say. A good support to come in. A part of me feels like I wish it wasn't just core attack. I wish it was just attack in general. Or maybe they could have added that on as an addition, like maybe get rid of the decreased damage taken and make it so that increased crit rate, core attack, and attack. I don't know. Actually, no, that just, it kind of looks weird to say attack and core attack, right? I don't know. Maybe maybe put the core attack buff on skill 2 and then make it so the ultimate is given the attack buff. I think that would have been pretty nice, actually. I think that's what I would have personally done. Unless make it so that the Cuddle Puddle effect increases water damage taken, and... oh no, that wouldn't work. Well, I mean, they could have made it so that increased critical hit damage taken. Hey, that could have been something. But coming back to the swing of things, of course, again, she is a water typing. Again, I mean, I called it from the start. I knew they were going to bring in a character to give us the full water attribute SSR team. So it was kind of a given that they were going to cater to the 2 girls, and this is exactly what has happened. You know, I said it from the beginning, and it's happening, and it's what I wanted. So you know what, a part of me you can blame. Anyway, coming back to whether or not if she's worth summoning. So my personal opinion, I would say go for the initial copy. I think just getting that 1 copy will go a long way. Not only that, you are making it so that you've got access to the pumped up buff, because I mean, I'm sorry, a buff like this you just can't sleep on. Not only that, even if you don't have Alicia to A2 where the consistency of a core attack is usable, of course, even with that A0, just to have that support of that core attack increase, so that you can get that one good rotation in with Alicia's core attack. I think that again also will go a long way and support a lot of players out there who obviously get Alicia at A0, of course. Even if you have her at A1, you know, if you don't have her A2, even if you've got her at A1, again, I do believe that with this Meilin Fisher support healer, just by going and getting that one copy, you're effectively having access to all of these buffs. Again, this is all on her kit. There's no additional buffs to where, oh, if you want this buff, if you want this buff, you got to go to A1, you got to get to A2. More than likely, her A1 to A5 is just going to be catering to enhancing the buffs in terms of maybe like longer durations and stuff like that, of course. But the initial kit itself is providing all that we need in terms of the buffs. So getting the initial copy for her, you have access to all of this, and in my eyes, that is not a bad thing. That is not a bad thing to have. So I think my suggestion would be, if you want to, again, it's one of the tough ones, because again, if you've got Min, if you've got lead Bora, which in my eyes are right now, I mean, how can I forget about SRs? You know, Park. How can I forget about Park? You know, she's a fantastic SR character. But more of it, if you have Min, I think you are going to be fine. If you choose to skip, I completely understand. There is that option. I will say that there is that option. I mean, I kind of want to say they kind of shot themselves in the foot when they buffed him up, in a way. They did, actually, to be fair, they kind of did. They used Meilin Fisher in a fight against the floor 50 Vulcan boss, and the only thing that I'm really seeing from her support skill for Jinwoo is the healing. I'm not seeing anything. Wait, okay, he hasn't activated her. Oh! Double-edged sword. What is that buff? No value buff name. Oh, great, fantastic. Okay, so she is providing a buff. Okay, so first of all, her support skill is 100% applying healing, which is a given, but she does provide a buff, but it doesn't specify to what the name of the buff is. Great, fantastic. Why are they keeping that a secret? I'm gonna say it's probably going to be the ultimate buff. I'm hoping that's the case. Even more core attack increase. So this is gonna be insane. Meilin Fisher and Tusk supporting Alicia's core damage. So yeah, I'm expecting some big numbers. We'll say that much. Should you summon, go for the initial copy. That's what I would highly recommend. However, if you're comfortable with where your Libora is at, or your Min, most definitely your Min, and you want to save for the July character or even the Grand Festival character, which I'm predicting to be in August, being in 2 months, of course, you can also quite easily do that, knowing that we've already got some good support in the game, especially with Min's recent buff, that yeah, that you'll be just getting the good buffs, increase in damage and whatnot. So there's that. Well, crit rate and whatnot, and then of course Libora will be through her artifacts, as well as supporting darks, as well as the charm effect. Anyway, I'll leave it there. That's all I really want to talk about. Once we get the info on her passives, we'll see where things go from there. But just going off from her initial kit, I'm going to stand by with my suggestion.